Solo. LG is going solo.
Ooh.
So thank you so much for joining. Are you ready?
Are we doing a get to know you question?
You know what? I think I know you pretty well. Hello and welcome to episode 185 of Disney with the Ducks. I am your host for tonight, Lonnie G, and I am joined by a very special guest. You guys love her. You guys asked her to come back, and she's obliged, right? She heard the masses, all four of them, and decided to come back. So can't wait to introduce her to you guys again. But before we do, if you like what you hear, and hopefully you do, please consider giving us 5 stars on your podcatcher of choice. Any reviews you can, any feedback, we would love to hear it. Also, this is a big one. If you have any things, any shows you like to see us or hear us record, if you have any suggestions on how we can make the podcast better, please let us know. Send us a message. Join us in our Facebook group at Disney with the Ducks. On Instagram, we're at Disney with the Ducks. I've been told that I can't mention Ducks After Dark anymore. Some kind of legal thing. The lawyers haven't really responded to some of our requests. I think because Gene hasn't talked to them yet. But so yeah, there we go. But without further ado, we have our special guest joining us, Sarah. Sarah, how are you tonight?
Hello, I am good. How about you?
Better than I deserve. So, guys, Sarah is joining us to talk about the 2025 Run Disney Disneyland Halloween Half Marathon Weekend. Sarah came down, I went up, I went across. Well, she went west. She migrated west, and she ran. I see the challenge, right? A challenge and the 5K.
I cheered the 5K.
Oh, that's actually great. You cheered the 5K. We'll talk about that. But Sarah migrated west and participated in the kickoff of the 2025-2026 Run Disney Race Weekend with the Disneyland half for Halloween. So that's awesome. Glad you did. It's been a little while since you've been on here. And I'm sure the audience just was wondering, wow, Sarah's ran a lot of races. I wonder what's her favorite race weekend. So kickoff of the Run Disney season, bunch of race weekends coming up. You've ran them all. You've actually participated in them all. So with that being said, what's your favorite Run Disney race weekend?
I mean, they all have their goods and bads. I think marathon weekend is just like the big party. Everybody comes down. You get to see everybody, family reunion, as I think Jodie likes to call it. So I love that. But I would say sleeper is Springtime Surprise. The weather is always not great, but I just love the vibes of it. It's just more of a chill vibe. I mean, you've ran it before. It's just a different vibe. So yeah. I think that's a sleeper for me.
That's a big one. It really is. I like the distance because everyone knows I don't like to run. So doing actually a 10-miler instead of a half, those extra 3 miles make a big difference, right? And to your point, it's a little warm down there, but it is a sleeper. It's not as big, not as much commotion as Marathon Weekend. A little bit warmer, which is good. I actually thought about that one. And I actually thought about Marathon Weekend as well because we get to see so many ducks, so many friends getting together. But I'm gonna go with Wine and Dine. Couple of reasons why. Number one, it was the first actual race weekend that I ran with my daughter. That was her first Run Disney race. So that was a big one for me. But I actually like the time of year. It's not too warm, right? And I know previously it was a night race. Used to always have issues. They moved it to a day race, made it a challenge. I really like it. And I like the after party. Right? An after party ticket is included in it where you can go into Epcot and kind of hang out and do your thing. So I'm going to go with Wine and Dine Weekend.
It's a good one too.
Yeah, well, thank you. So we're going to get right into it, right? Kickoff of the Run Disney race season. Starts off in Anaheim. at Disneyland, right? Now, this is something because next year, you guys know the Forward Disney project takes place. The last actual race for quite some time will be the Dumbo Challenge, which will happen in January. So this was the second to last. Next race you will have a couple of years probably before we see it. So this was a great one to be a part of. It started on September the 4th, right? So it came in for that. So tell me about your travels. When did you make it in?
So I flew out after work on Thursday. So my flight left at like 6 o'clock, and it was a direct flight to LAX. So we landed about 7:30, which I think is actually good. Ended up being good because it wasn't too chaotic in the rideshare area, or I don't feel like traffic was that bad actually, that's what I've heard bad things about flying into LAX. And I guess I got lucky. I think the overall experience of LAX, like for me, I flew Southwest though, so I also know I could just walk easily to rideshare and not have to get on the bus.
Yeah. So you caught an Uber over to the parks?
Yeah, to my hotel for that night. Yeah, so I stayed most of the weekend. I had a roommate, but because I wasn't 100% sure what time I was going to get there, and she was running the 5K, I stayed at a different hotel that Thursday night.
That's very considerate of you.
I mean, hey, sleep's important.
Sleep is important, especially during a Run Disney Race weekend. So you came in, so you cheered for the 5K. Now, I'm gonna be honest, in full transparency, I have never cheered for a race. Always thought about doing it. In fact, I had aspirations of doing it to cheer you on for the 10K. But when the alarm went off, snooze button. So tell me about your cheering experience for the 5K. How was it?
So I thought it was really fun. I mean, I figured I wouldn't have any problem getting up because of the 2 hour time difference. And I have to get up typically, at like 5 o'clock, 5:30 for work. So that wasn't too bad getting up. I wasn't sure how. I knew I wanted, if I could, to get into DCA and be there. And I wasn't sure how that process went, how long it took. But so I got to the crosswalk to get to Disneyland, like off a harbor at like 4:15, and then went through security by like 4:20. And there were some people hanging out, but the park part didn't actually open, I think, until 4:30. So I sat down for a little bit, hung out. Then I went over there a little bit before 4:30. It was kind of like a rope drop. There was a lot of people, and everybody went really fast. Well, like behind the cast members. But when we got up there, it wasn't all that crowded. So I don't know where everybody went. But
okay, so tell me this: you had a different hotel. Where did you stay that first night when you got there that Thursday?
Anaheim Desert Inn and Suites, which is one of those that's almost right across one of the closest ones.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I find just so interesting about Disneyland, right? That it's in the middle of the city, basically, but some of the good neighbor hotels are actually closer to the park than the actual Disney park hotels, right? So it's the craziest thing. I know previously last year we all did the Dumbo Double Dare, and we stayed at different hotels. I think we stayed at the Howard Johnson. A bunch of us did. I think all the Ducks did, which was pretty cool. You stayed at that point.
I was at Tropicana, so you guys picked me up on the way to the park.
Yes, we walked right past you, but literally it was only 50 to 100 yards away, and you're actually closer to what at that point was the starting line. So it's really pretty cool if you have an opportunity. Yes, it's cool to be inside the bubble, but the bubble kind of extends when you talk about Disneyland because there's so many hotels, so many good neighbor hotels right around. I stayed actually at the Marriott. So it's a little bit further of a walk. I can
Convention Center Marriott, correct?
The Convention Center Marriott. But I really enjoyed that hotel. A lot of amenities, a lot of good places to eat, and still a lot of people that actually ran the race was there. So it was an easy walk. I just followed the masses over to the corral. So so you cheered for the 5K. Saw your friends, then I guess you went to the expo.
So there's actually quite a bit that happened between that and the expo, because I don't think the expo ended until like noon, and the race was over like 6:30.
Yeah, it's still dark when that race finished.
I don't know if the race was, but I should say like where my cheer was. Everybody was gone.
Mhm.
I will say though, Disney is smart. They're about money. It was kind of funny. So there's a coffee cart that's like right across from um, where we're at. So I was like on the race course where you're running up and then you take a left
Mhm.
to go like into Pixar area. I was like right there where you hit that T. Um, and so we were all there, but across the course, they had a coffee cart that they got ready with like just some basic like croissants, that kind of stuff, and pretty much just regular coffee, none of the like fancy ones. But they opened it for about 15 minutes and there was a huge line that whole time. And then they closed it like right before they knew the first runners were going to come through, and it was closed the rest of the time. But there was a lot of people that utilized that coffee cart.
Hey, Disney, look, Disney knows how to
They're
get your money.
smart, money.
They know how to. They know is that early in the morning. You're staying up there. Yeah, they're gonna get your money. Mhm.
Yeah.
And did
So
they make
anyway,
you guys leave out the park after that? I mean, were you escorted out? How did that work?
um, I mean, so there's that area like by the finish line and stuff that they hang out for a little bit, and I know that
Mhm.
starting last year's Halloween, they switched early entry.
Mhm.
Typically on Fridays, it's DCA, and they switched it to Disneyland. So DCA, you could stay in DCA a little bit longer. They didn't kick you out right away,
Okay.
at least last year. Um, so I don't know. I didn't stay that whole time. I went back to my resort or my hotel
Yeah, because
to
you have
make
to
sure that
pack up. Because you have to move rooms too. So you have to pack up and all that kind of good stuff. So did you manage to see your roommate, your friend, when she ran by? Was she good?
Yep, I had a lot of I saw her. I see her for the first time on the trip. Got to see a lot of other people. Um, I had a Chiefs base sign. I know you're shocked, Lonnie.
I mean, I really, you know what? You liking the Chiefs? Can't believe it.
Never heard that. I know.
Yeah, I heard that.
But
But I did see some. I don't know who it was, but I saw some pictures that somebody had a Chiefs sign at a park. I just don't a flag. Well, I don't know. I don't know who it could be. Maybe you have a doppelganger. It could be more people. I don't know. But
no,
yeah.
I'm the only Chiefs fan ever. um,
So yeah. So you went back, packed
yeah.
up, and then migrated over to your new hotel.
So the nice thing about the Anaheim Desert Inn and Suites, and I mean, it's not really a big breakfast, but they do have a quote unquote free breakfast. Mostly just like it had like fruit, hard boiled eggs, a couple prepackaged pastries, cereal, juice. So nothing crazy, but it was nice to be able to grab like a pastry and hard boiled egg before I transferred over.
Yeah.
And I stay the rest of the trip. I was at the Fairfield, so
Okay. Okay.
it was not a very far walk down there. So I just took all my luggage and went. It was a bad time to go though. I was I was in fish going the wrong way. Everybody was going to the park, and I was going against them with my suitcase, but it worked out fine.
Well,
Um,
look, they gave you breakfast. My motto: if it's free, give me three. If it's free, it's for me. You fill in, take it, make it your own. But yeah, anytime, got a little protein, got a little croissant. That's what it's about. You know what? Did they have anything for the runners before the race? Do you know? Did they give anything for them?
I don't know about that one. At
Okay,
Fairfield on the 10K day, they did have some bananas, oranges, granola bars out
cool.
on the way to the 10K. I did not
Okay,
see that at
that's
the
actually
half,
pretty good.
but they may have had it when you came back at the half. I just got back really late, so I don't know if they had it. But I do know that Fairfield had some stuff out before the 10K.
Okay, that's good. That's important, right? I mean, we talk about it knowing some of the sports for Dine and for marathon weekend last year. I stayed at the boardwalk, and they have like some coffee and they have some granola bars and things of that nature, but it's kind of really reserved, kind of quiet, unlike say pop over it, when it's jumping and everybody's happening. But yeah, at least they give you something. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
So
like I like that hotel overall. It was a good place to stay.
good deal. So it gets the approval.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll take it then. All right. So um the expo.
Well, so I did one thing before I went to the expo because that didn't open until noon.
12. All right. Okay, so what did you do before that?
So we went over and me and my roommate went over and did some stuff in Disney Spring, or sorry, downtown
Downtown
Disney.
Disney? Yeah.
Kind of explored that area. We tried one of the specialty treats down there, which was interesting. It was, let me look at the name. Sweet potato marshmallow roll from Sip and Sauter. So it's kind of basically a cinnamon roll with like marshmallow fluff and like sweet potato cream stuff on it. It was interesting. I'm glad we tried it.
It sounds like a lot.
Probably not get it again, especially when it's hot. But that's just me. And then there was at 10:30, there was a shoe charm party that was put on by Sparkle Athletic, Run Fit Mama, and BB Brooke. So you bring your shoes and put like beads and stuff and decorate them on, and just kind of hang out, talk to a bunch of other people. So that was fun. And then after that, headed over to the expo, which opened at noon.
Okay.
So you went, though. Did you go Friday or you went Thursday?
I went Thursday. Yeah, I went Thursday. And also went to, I was in downtown Disney for quite some time. I actually had lunch there. When I landed, it's funny, I signed up for the virtual queue for the Brooks shoes and the virtual queue to get into the actual expo. And for both of those signups, I was like way down the list. I think it was when I landed, I literally got on and tried to, because I flew into John Wayne. So, closer to the airport, closer to the actual park. And when I checked in, I think I was like group 79 or 80, and they were on group like 10 or 11. It's just crazy, right? So I ended up going to Ding Tong Fong. I know I'm killing that name, but for lunch. So did that. We first went to my hotel, checked in, got comfortable, then went out for lunch, had lunch, and then by the time lunch was over, my time had came. So then I went to the actual expo. So
and how were the crowds at that point?
It was pretty aggressive, actually. There are a lot of people there. They actually, which is something I don't see at Disney World, but when the queue came up, they actually, it was blocked off, and they checked the actual queue and scanned the QR code to let you enter the queue to get into the race information stuff, right? Like the race sales things, like the actual Run Disney piece. I don't remember them doing that at Disney World. Usually, you get in line, you through. Yeah, but the virtual queue there is really like they'll tell you it's time for virtual queue. Usually outside, but this time they double checked you. I was like, this is a lot of checking. But did that and got in. It had a lot of stuff still available. Unfortunately, I wanted a half because I only did the half. So I wanted a half magnet, and unfortunately, they was already sold out. So a lot of people that was doing a half. In fact, one thing I noticed, and we mentioned this before in the podcast, you can get, usually if you miss out on registering the first, onslaught of registration, if you just, play your cards right, keep checking the app, sign up for some of the Discords, you get notified when they still have additional bibs that pop up. And throughout the process, months down the line, they were releasing half bibs. And I was like, how big is this half going to be? Because they keep releasing more and more bibs. And so I guess that's one thing. They didn't have enough half merchandise, at least not the magnets that I wanted. But I did get the mug, official mug for the weekend, which was pretty cool. It was the cauldron, the witch cauldron that had Disneyland Halloween on it, which was pretty nice. And just, got a magnet for the whole weekend. And, got a shirt. I think that was it. What about you? Did you pick up anything at the expo?
Again, that's a nice thing about going, not the first day, there was people, but it was more chill. We went and picked up my bib first because my roommate already had hers because she did the 5K. So she had picked both of them up, but we came to look at some merch and stuff. I think she needed to exchange a merch, but pretty chill. Picked up the bibs, kind of went around some of the vendors before we even went to Run Disney. We didn't really need anything. She wanted to exchange a shirt, but it wasn't the end of the world. But I ended up getting like a weekend pin. I have all my pins on the board. So, but again, the more weekends I do, the less stuff I decide I actually need. Like, how much do I wear all this stuff? So
It's funny you mention that. I find the same thing. I know Gene, and you guys may not know Gene. He hasn't been on this show in a long time. He's on a suspension currently. But in fact, gosh, I really shouldn't even mention his name that he's being suspended. It's awkward. Okay, so Gene always says something about me buying a lot of stuff, but I find the more race weekends I go, I don't buy. I gotta have a magnet, right? They give you a shirt, right? So, and sometimes I get the mug if I really like it, but I'm kind of dwindling it down because I'm like, I got too much stuff around here now from all the race weekends.
Speaking of shirts, was that your
Mhm.
first time getting the new style shirts? Because you didn't do springtime,
I did not.
right?
It is the first time. Yeah.
So what did
Mhm.
what did you think of those?
I mean, I think they're cool. Sarah, the funny thing is, I never wear those shirts.
Well, that's
I
the thought.
mean,
Maybe you'd switch it up.
yeah. I mean, I knew everybody was talking about them changing, and I have it. I think my goal at some point is just to take them and send a bunch of them in and get a blanket made. By now, I probably have 2 king size quilts
Hmm.
made. But I don't really wear the shirts. I think I've only worn them. Well, I wore one. Usually, I wear a dopey shirt at the end if you did it, and then I'll wear we all wore our Dumbo shirt, right? So Jody was like, "Wear your Dumbo shirt." So I was like, "All right, I got to wear it." But usually, I just don't even wear those shirts for some reason. I don't know why. I don't
I
know.
I always wear them mostly just the day of the race. I make sure to wear them then because I'm like, well, then I wear them at least one time. But yeah, I don't wear them a lot other
You
than
might as
that.
well make you a blanket too. Send them off. Get you a blanket made. Maybe somebody hears this to want to sponsor the show and make a blanket. But then again, we only have 4 listeners anyway, so I doubt that happens. But yeah, hey, look,
You never
well,
know.
you never know, But yeah, so I might make a blanket with it one day. There you go. I got them all upstairs in one of those big Tupperware storage containers. And I just, when I get home, I open it up, I throw the shirt in there, and I shut it, and that's the last I see of it. So now you have a peek into the mind of Lonnie G. I'm sorry about that.
Lonnie. I
That's what
feel
it
sorry for the listeners. I know you well enough. But I feel sorry for the listeners who don't know and now have to be inside your mind.
Yeah, now they're saying, what's up, that guy? So, all right. So after the expo, we actually met up for a bit because I was coming from Splitsville, decided to go over there, grab something to eat with some friends. So we got a chance to kind of visit for a second, met your roommate. And from there, where did you head? I'm headed off back, but where did you head off to after that? Did you go into the park?
Yeah, so I had park tickets, so I was like, I should go into the park at least at some point. So I think I got to the park a little bit before 4.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so just kind of that day was more chill. Just kind of hung out around Main Street, looked at some of the decorations. Um, then they did the flag retreat ceremony. Have you ever done that at Disneyland?
Mm-hmm. Well,
So
not at
they
Disneyland. I'm not at Disneyland. I haven't done it, but is it the same as there? Is it a little different?
so they have because I think Disney World last time I did Disney World they picked like one
Mm-hmm.
veteran to
Mm-hmm.
kind of be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
So Disneyland around their little circle, they the Dapper Dans and the Disneyland band come, and then the band plays every I don't know if theme is the right word. But the song for like the Army, Navy, Space, Marines, I'm missing some, but all of them. And then if there's a veteran, when they play your
Mm-hmm.
song, the veteran goes and stands around the flagpole, and they stay there while they lower the flag.
Oh
Um,
wow,
so it's kind of cool to see,
that sounds
all the
really
veterans
cool. Yeah.
or I guess I should say veterans or active duty.
Okay.
But to kind of see the circle fill up as they go and to hear the songs of some of the less I mean I feel like you think about Army, Navy, some of the but like thinking about Coast Guard, the
Mhm.
space one, like I feel like you don't think and hear about those as much, so it's kind of cool that those were
Yeah,
included.
that is actually pretty cool. I'm gonna have to check it out maybe when I go back in January.
Yeah, it was
Spoiler
again.
alert.
I just happened to be there, and they made an announcement that was going to happen. I'm like, I'm going to stick around and see what it is, what's about. So,
Yeah, you're like spoiler alert. We'll be
uh,
back there in January. Okay.
mhm.
Oh, good
And
deal.
then right when that was over, they brought the Main Street vehicles out, and I haven't been on Main Street vehicle in Disneyland. I have in Disney World, so I
Mhm.
got to ride one of those up to the castle. Um, And then kind of was like, I got a couple rides in. I got lucky with some lightning lanes because
Mhm.
again, I didn't do anything. That was my first time checking in, but I was able to get Haunted Mansion,
Mhm.
and then Space Mountain within like those back to back. So like almost as soon as I got Haunted Mansion, checked into Haunted Mansion, was looking, I was able to get Space Mountain for not that much later. There was a little bit of a gap, so I went and did Buzz, and then went and did Space Mountain,
Ah,
and then picked up food for me and my roommate, and headed back to the room.
so you got the Jack Skellington Nightmare Before Christmas overlay.
Mhm. Yes,
I actually
that's
like
my
the overlay.
only way riding Disneylands. So I'm hoping in January I get to ride the original. I love the overlay, but I just want to see the original.
You know, they haven't announced it yet, but the only problem is um, it closes, right? To
Mhm.
transition back. So I guess now is the last week of January. I don't know. I'm gonna keep my eye out on that because I actually like the Jack Skellington overlay. I really do. Um, I would rather them just keep that than us miss the whole thing. Hopefully, because when I did what was it Star Wars there? When I did Star Wars Light Side, it was actually closed as they were transitioning back. So I missed Haunted Mansion completely there, right? And I really like Haunted Mansion. So my hope is that either they switch it over or it just keeps it open to after that race weekend. But hopefully they will. We'll see. We'll have to keep an eye on that one. That's a big one once they announce that.
Well, there's
So,
already. I know that the last time we did it, so not this year, but what the first year back, I feel like there's a lot closed. So
mhm.
hopefully, and like this time, Big Thunder was closed, and Cars Land or Radiator Springs Racers was closed.
Ah,
Um,
yeah.
so hopefully, at least they have some of the big ones open.
Well, that's a hope. We're gonna have to look at the refurbishment schedule and then the switch schedule and see. Hopefully, they're smart enough to leave it open. Because I remember running by it and I was like, why would they have this closed? And that race was the
24.
15th. It was January 15th, 2017, when it was the Star Wars race, and they had
Yeah,
it
they were
closed completely. And I'm like, why would
man.
you close it? On the 15th? That's crazy. But okay, I digress. So you went headed back, got some rest up because the next morning you have to run, right? 10K day. I was
Yep.
gonna go cheer, but unfortunately, sleep.
I know. I forgot to take a selfie. I took a selfie. I forgot to send it to you. I did take a selfie when I was running by where I knew your hotel was. I was like, "There's Lonnie sleeping up there
Yeah.
somewhere,
And the funny thing
lazy,
is, I probably could have opened.
lazy."
I probably could have opened the curtain and looked out, and stood on my balcony and watched you, and be like, waving at you. But yeah, I was just like, I literally, I looked over and it was still dark outside. I was like, man, I'm so tired, and this bed is so comfortable. I'll see you tomorrow. And I just went to sleep. I'm sorry. I feel like I let you down. But
Did you see
tell me about
me?
the 10K. No, no, I didn't. Tell me about the 10K. So,
Um, so we got to security. We left early because we're like we knew it wasn't bad, but like we just like to be there early, even though we don't have to be there as early as like Disney World.
mhm,
So we got to security at like 3:37, and we walked straight through. There's no line.
okay.
Went really quick. We went. The nice thing is that like most of the photo ops, which are not characters, but they have like the backdrops and type things. Um, they had cast members taking photos, or they had actual, they had people that would take your picture for you, and the lines were
Mhm.
like really, really short compared to after the races when the lines are insanely long. So yes, you don't have your medal yet, but you still get your race, outfit picture in front of them. So we did that. And then there was a group meetup that was supposed to be about 4:15. Ended up being a little bit later, but hung out for that. Took a picture for the Dopey Strong Run Fit Fab.
Mhm.
Amazing, amazing group. Helped me through the weekend since my lizards. There wasn't as many lizards or ducks out this week or this race trip. So
They weren't. It was just me and you. We were representing the ducks, and
I
not
know.
that many lizards.
Yeah,
You
there
know.
wasn't many lizards either. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, so we didn't head to the corral until like 4:36, and what race starts at 5. Or I
Mhm.
got to the corral, like, which is typically at Disney World, I would not wait that long. But that's the kind of the nice thing about Disneyland is you can kind of do that a little bit easier. Um, And I was not in the last corral like I thought I would be. I was in the second to last corral for the 10K. So I was like, oh, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got there and it was kind of the middle. That day I was kind of middle of corral, I would say.
Okay. That's not bad.
And I think I ended up starting like, according to the balloon ladies alerts through like, the different channels, I think I started like 6 minutes ahead of the balloon ladies. Because that's a lot of people like it. It's got its good and bad. At Disney World, there's all the little mini releases of the corrals, where Disneyland, they release the whole corral at one time.
Yeah.
So there's not as much break. Or I think it was about every 5 minutes is when they released the corral.
I think you're right. At least for the half, it was like every 5 minutes. And then just walking everybody up, right? So it took a good bit of coordination and time to get everybody out, but it seems to be about every 5 minutes they will let everybody go, that whole corral,
which is it's good and bad. So, and they're smaller. I will say, so I feel like when I've done the Disneyland races in the past, there hasn't been, I know that they have had entertainment, but by the time my corral gets there, there's not, or like the characters are off and it's just Carissa or like only one of the announcers up there, no characters, since I'm never in the first corral or second corral. So this time when we were walking up, Carissa was there, but there was Clarabelle Cow and Daisy Duck were up in their outfits, and they did like a whole fashion show twirl thing. So it was kind of fun. I was like, oh, good. We finally get some entertainment up here and character interaction, or not interactions, but entertainment with that. So,
and the good thing is you're so close to the stage, right? I mean, where they are, I mean, they're right to the right of you. So you get you.
And that day I was on the right side. So I was, because I went over to the right to throw some trash away. So I was right on the gates.
Oh, sweet.
So that was fun. We saw the bikes. The one thing I don't enjoy is when you're in the later crowd, we saw the bikes for the first, the first either runner or wheelchair or Roll Disney athlete was like coming in as we were getting released. And I was like, oh, that's always
you're done. I still got 6 miles to run. They're done.
Yeah, here I go. Not even across the starting line yet. But but no, it was good. The one thing I don't like is at least farther back. Like I could not run really unless I did a little bit, but it was like probably not smart. I probably could have twisted an ankle, like running like on the balance beam of the curb. Because it was just at the start, again, I wasn't at the front and it was just so crowded and everybody was walking. And there was just, until you get around the corner. And then even when you get around the corner, it opens up for a minute and then it closes, so that was kind of not enjoyable. Because I was like, I just want to run. I want to catch up. I had a couple of friends that were in. So I was in. What was I in? I was in Corral F, and they were they either in D or E? I can't remember what one they were in that day. But they were going and kind of taking it easy, and my goal was to catch them, and then hang out with them. But that way they could just take it easy to start with. So yeah, I actually caught up to them like right as we entered the park. So I got to run the majority of the race with them. And we actually, the lines, we got some character stops. We took well, not necessarily characters, but we stopped for some photo ops. Who in Cars Land, it was Mater and Bread, the fire truck. And their
Vampire, was it Vampire Mater?
And then the fire truck was as a clown. So we stopped for that. Try to think, we stopped like for the picture in front of the what is it? Mickey wheel. All lit up.
Mickey's giant wheel of death.
Yeah. Yep. That's why I don't go on it.
You don't mean that.
So Corella was because she was the, what do you call it?
I guess the mascot of the thing. Yeah.
Whatever. She was on that stage in like the Hollywood, like Hollywood Land. They have that stage. And she was there. And the thing I like when they have those, I think it's really cool because they don't have a photo pass, but they have multiple cast members. And you just go to the next available cast member. And Corella's like walking up and down. And then we'll pause for that picture. But so the line moves really fast, which is nice, especially when you're towards the back anyway. You don't want to stand in a 20-minute line because
not toward the back. Yeah, not toward the back.
So I want to say I want to say the line was only like 3 minutes. That's from like when we got in line to when we got our picture and we're like leaving again. So that wasn't, and it was moving the whole time. So that was really nice. Let's see, when we were coming into Disneyland, we saw there was a massive, like we couldn't even see the end of the line for the castle. So we came in and turned left and of the castle, and you could see, as we could see, there was a line. By the time we ended up all the way around it, they didn't have a photo pass there anymore. I guess because we were close to the end. So there was no photo pass. So we had to either, we just took selfies or took pictures of each other, which is, again, it was good and bad because I wouldn't have wanted to wait in that line at that point. But it's also like kind of fun to get those pictures, right?
Yeah.
So it's good and bad.
The benefit of starting a little earlier in the corral, right? That you can get a little bit more.
And then when we got to Toontown, Donald and or no, not Donald. He was later. Who was there? Mickey. And was it Mickey and Minnie that day? I can't remember now. But they were there, and like you just took selfies with them, which again is nice because people could go in and go out, and it was really fast moving. So that was nice. And then you came around, and on the Star Wars launch building, Donald and Goofy were standing up there. And again, you could turn around and get a selfie with them.
Okay, good.
And then, the backstage area. And then again, as being towards the back, because we didn't go super fast through the parks, enjoyed it a little bit more. As we were coming, you know how when you come out from like backstage and you go back onto Harbor and you do like the little loop U-turn. As we were turning, you could see the balloon. I would say the balloon ladies, but this time there was also a guy. So balloon people, I guess. Can't say balloon ladies.
We got to do appropriate. Balloon people.
You could see them, which again, at that point, like you're almost a mile 6. We were fine.
I mean, you could moonwalk from that part. I mean, and make it in, right? So
yeah.
So what do you think about the course overall?
I love the Disneyland 10Ks because you spend so much time in the parks. Yes, you get backstage time, which is not as great. They don't have as much back there, as much entertainment. I think overall is some of the backstage areas. And like sometimes they'll yell at you or tell you to put your phone away, even though there's like a mile marker. I've had that happen at Disneyland, and I'm like, don't put a mile marker backstage if you don't want our cameras out.
That's a sore subject for Jodie.
It was a little bit better, but I have had that happen where they're just like very like boom, boom, boom.
Oh, yeah. I think Jodie still fusses about that they told her not to, why are we running back here if you can't put your camera out, right? So oh well, it's the magic.
It has. I will say it. I think every year they make improvements.
Yes.
Since that first year we were back, there's made a lot of improvements. Obviously, there's always room for improvements. There's always things that could be better, things that can change. But overall, I love the 10K course. That's why originally I was only going to do the half. And I was like, no, if I'm going out there, that's like probably my favorite 10K. And it's always a little bit different, but favorite 10K. So I was like, I have to do it. So I'm glad I did.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. So that is a great 10K just because of so much park time. Of all park time, basically. So finish the 10K. You said you're going to do a little park time. What park did you go into?
Well, before that, there was I think there was like 7, 8 different reservations that all went to Goofy's Kitchen. And I think there was like 35 of us, all through the different ones. And, they couldn't put us all together, which makes sense just because have you been to Goofy's before?
Yeah, well, I've never eaten there, but, you walk by it because that's your bib you pick up upstairs. So I went there, but I'm like, I'd rather, and I could have got a reservation there, but I just wanted to go to Dental Farm. I like that. I mean, that place is so nice to me. I like it. So,
but it's just like smaller. So there's no way they can put us all together, but they did. We asked if we could all get our picture at the same time with Goofy. And they're like, well, you won't all fit in that room, but let me go ask. So they did have us, and we all went those stairs that you go up to pick up your bib. They did have us go, and we lined up on those stairs, and Goofy came out to meet us. And then there was the photo pass. People were telling people to go to not come. Like you had to stay up at the top of the stairs if you were picking the people that were picking up their bibs until our picture was taken. So we didn't have very many people in the background. But it was really cool that they brought them out to us so we could all be together. And
this was the Run Dopey group?
Like Dopey Strong, Run Fit Fab group. Yeah, so Dopey Strong is a Facebook group, and Run Fit Fab is like the coaching side, training programs stuff.
Okay, that's pretty cool. That's actually pretty cool that they did that for you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so Goofy is out, and then inside it's like a buffet, and so they do have some fall theme stuff.
Mhm.
I'm glad Jody's not on here to quiz me about what we ate because I really don't remember.
Jody wants to know what you ate. You're gonna have to let her know exactly what you ate.
Yeah, I don't remember that, so that's a good thing. But it was so inside it's Chip and Dale, Minnie, and is it and Pluto? I should know. But they're all in like their fall costumes. So like Chip, I didn't get it at the time, found out later. So like Chip and Dale, one was like an angel and one was a devil. And the angel was really easy, or you could tell that one. The devil, it like looked like they had little party hats. So I didn't know I guess they were supposed to be the horns. Looked like there was just two little party hats on his head.
Mhm.
But they were all great character interactions.
Yeah.
And like there was at the table I was sitting at, there was 8 of us. So there was a lot of like cycle through, like, okay, change each other, which is nice. You have somebody take your picture. When you go by yourself, you kind of just have to take selfies, which I mean, you're the king of selfies. So you wouldn't have a problem with that, Lonnie.
I mean, I have been known to take a picture or two just because. I mean, So yeah, I do that.
But yeah, so that was a really fun experience. Really enjoyed that. And then I headed over to DCA. I got there about 1 in the afternoon.
Okay. So you really didn't kind of rush to do park things. You did other things, hung out with some people, that's actually, that's the way to approach it, right? It really is.
And I mean, that's part of why I love Run Disney races. And
Mhm.
Lonnie, I know you don't run Disney because of running.
Yeah, I don't like the
You
running
do it for
part.
the experiences.
I love the
So I
camaraderie.
mean, that's what makes them fun.
Mhm, mhm. So,
Um, and then
so
DCA
DCA,
got really lucky.
okay, so I'm gonna say DCA. What's some of the rides you kind of jumped on and got yourself ready?
So Lightning Lane got very
Mhm.
lucky. It took
Okay.
some work, but we're able to like almost go like around. So well, we did Philhar Magic,
Okay.
waiting for the first Lightning Lane, but then we did Monsters Inc.
Okay.
Um, Web Slingers. Right when we
Mhm.
came out of Web Slingers, there was a Spider-Man show, which
Ah.
I met up with a friend, and it was her first time in DCA, so she hadn't seen any of that before. So that was
Okay.
kind of fun. Um, so yeah, Spider-Man show. Then we went and did the Animator Academy, which I know that they have some of those things at Disney Lane or Disney World, but I've never done any of them. Have you ever done any of those? Like where they
No, I have
walk you
not.
through all the characters?
Yeah, haven't done it.
So I was like, I'm not an artist. That stuff drives me nuts. Like I don't like if it's not perfect, which mine's never perfect. I get, I don't know. It's just not. I'm not a good artist, and then it makes me mad. But this was actually really fun. And so our character, they do it. I think is it every 30 minutes? I don't remember, but every time there's a different character, so you can go. I mean, not you go like throughout the day. You could go multiple times and draw different characters. And we had the snake from Jungle Book.
Ah, I could draw a snake. It's just a wiggly line, right? I mean, the
I
two
mean,
eyes.
here I know most people won't be able to see it, but here, Lonnie, here's mine's like really small, but
Oh yeah.
so most people's take up the whole paper, but it's not awful.
I mean, his head dipping down to talk. I mean, that's actually pretty good.
Like he's
Guys,
coming out of his way.
you should watch on YouTube so you can see Sarah Snake.
No, you should not.
Oh,
It's okay.
Sarah Snake. That's what we're gonna call her. That's Sarah Snake. Huh?
Yeah. But I'm glad we did it, and you're inside sitting down, so that's
Mhm.
always a win on race
Mhm.
weekends.
Yeah.
So then after that, we did Monsters After Dark. We were able to get a lightning lane for that, like almost right after, which that one's really hard to get. So that one took some effort to get that one.
Mhm.
Because by the time we checked into the park, originally they were all out at like 7:30. And we're like, we don't
Okay.
want to be in the park that late. We knew that.
No.
So it took some working out, but we're able to get that. And I feel like we had a very intense version of it, like a couple fake outs where you thought it was over and it kept going and going and going. Backpack like flying up.
Mhm.
But that's what makes it fun. And I know I can survive it now because of the ducks.
Yeah,
You guys
we
can
got
do
you
it.
covered.
You
We got you
guys had me
covered.
do it in January of 24, and then you did it the tower with me for the first time at Disney World, so it's all good.
Yeah, and
Um,
we're gonna do it again in January when we go back. Get ready. Mhm.
I will do it now because now I know it's fun.
Yeah. See, look, boom. The more you know.
This is why you need good friends that peer pressure you to do things that you're not sure you want to do.
Peer
Right?
pressure, I mean, helps a lot of people. Really, really does. So, well, good. I'm glad you had a good time. Let me ask you this. You went back to the room because Sunday was a busy day, a big day. It is the half day. And I know they had said before, really hydrate because it's going to be warm that day, which it was. But they didn't black flag the course. I think everybody made it safely and all that kind of good stuff, which was just cool. The difference with between the 10K and the half is that the half you do a lot of running in the city in Anaheim. So let's talk a little bit about the half. So we're in different corrals. I was
Yes.
ready for you to hop in my corral, but you're in a different corral. But what do you think about the half overall? So we started, you know, magnificent with her. She was on the stage right there. Was she there when you started as well?
No.
She was not. Okay, womp womp. So I was actually in the front row of my corral, which was E. So she was still there. She was, I mean, and I was on the front. And then since they flashed the cameras, I was on the screen because they showed the images right over, which is a little different than Disney World because Disney World is usually a whole lot. There's not a lot of fireworks and stuff like that. You're in the city of Anaheim, so it's just some smoke, but there's a big screen, and you see your picture up there. So I was up there because I was the first one on the row. What did you think about the half overall?
So the first part of it, honestly, was kind of a blur. So I was in the last corral,
Mm-hmm.
which I have started Disney World races in the last corral. But again, Disney World, you can get in like the front first mini wave and feel
Yeah.
like you're farther ahead. Where here
Mm-hmm.
you're like, oh, the balloon ladies, like I can see them.
Yeah, you dapping the balloon ladies up. She's like, "What's up?" Yeah.
So, and I wasn't thrilled about that, but I was okay. But then I will be honest, when they announced that they were moving all the Galloway Pacers back, like I think it was like, so the 230 group was running 240, but right, the last group doesn't move back. They have to stay the same.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't think it was actually supposed to be that warm. So then when I heard that, it got into my head thinking, how hot is it going to be? Like,
Yeah.
So, and then I got like very, very little sleep going into the half marathon. My roommate, love her, didn't have snoring problems any other night, had horrible snoring problems before the half, so did not sleep very well. So I was already very in my head about things about, can I stay ahead of the balloon ladies? Will I have time to go to the bathroom without them? Is it going to be too hot? All these things that I didn't need to worry about, but I was worrying about. And this is where amazing friends come along and are like, no, you got it, you got it, you got it. So gave me some tips, and I was able to I didn't get to the corral, let me see, until I got to my corral at 4:40.
Okay.
Again, race starts 5. Again, I'm in the last corral, but I would not do that if I was the last corral at Disney World. I was by myself. People were really spread out, so I was able to kind of like weave my way through. Got about 3 people back, sat down for a while, then stood up. Then there was a lot of great people in the crowd to talk to, so that's nice. That made it go by really fast. And then throughout I was able to make my way up to be on the front row. And when we got up there, there was no characters, but Carissa was awesome. We had a sing along to go the distance. We were high fiving our neighbors. We were encouraging our neighbors by Carissa. So like, she was like, you got it. So yeah, so then it started. My first mile was probably the fastest mile I've ever had in a Run Disney race.
Okay.
Not the smartest, but again, like I can run. There's room to run. And I was worried about after the 10K, where even in the parks, you couldn't run if you wanted to. It was just like, groups of people. You couldn't run. There was nowhere to run. And being close to the balloon ladies, I was worried about that. And bathroom breaks, leaving time for that. So I kind of flew through the parks, got a few selfies, but didn't stop for any photo pass, I don't think. So that parks were kind of a blur. I know we got a lot of park time, and I do appreciate that. But again, It's awful. There were so many cutbacks, which is great. You can see other people, but I also saw the balloon people multiple times within the park. Which when you're already, not in the greatest mindset, that doesn't help.
That does not.
And then I was chasing you, which seems to be a trend this race season of Lonnie starts ahead. Let's chase Lonnie.
Well, I mean, it's you got to try to. That's I'm motivation. I am motivation for you to catch me, right? I will say this.
I didn't have as long of a course. Last time I had 26.2 miles to catch you. Here I only had 13.
Yeah. But to your point though, there's a lot of switchbacks. Crazy at that park that you kind of double back. I will say this. The decorations, the Halloween decorations at Disneyland to me are better than at Disney World. Just over the gates, over everything, they do it big time. They had to, I had to stop, take a couple of pictures. I mean, had the Donald pumpkins and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it was really, really cool. So I think their decorations are great. And to your point, that does. But look, even though you didn't stop, you had a great castle pick.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's the best castle picture I've ever gotten, probably.
Yeah,
and it's cool because it has a 70th on there. So it's like, all right, that's probably the best picture. I know you said you stopped for a lot of pictures. Did you stop for any like characters, or was it just pictures of the decorations?
Just the decorations, mile markers. But yeah, so I had a flight and I was flying out of LAX that same day and I couldn't miss it. I actually was meeting up with my wife in LA. So I said, I got to make sure I'm there for this one, right? So I want to make sure I gave myself enough time because I had to go back to the hotel and everything. So I was just like, I got to go. So I didn't really, in my flight, I didn't know. This is my first time flying out of LAX on a Sunday. So I didn't know how bad it would be. So I was like, I better just make sure that I make good time because who knows if the Uber's late or anything like that. And I had some stuff to do at the hotel, traffic. So I wanted to make sure. So with that, I decided not to just, for my own sanity, to your point, not to stop too long for pictures. And also, I knew we had to hit the street. So I ran pretty much through the park. And then we hit, I guess, Anaheim and went over the overpass. And then you're in Anaheim. I kind of walked a bunch waiting for you to catch up. So I did take a picture with the duck, the Anaheim duck.
You have to.
I got to do that.
Take a picture with the duck.
Yeah, you can't do that. I mean, would I even be a duck? But we did see each other when we circled back, I guess, around mile 10.
For you? For you? Yeah, you were quite a bit. Because you basically, I think you started about 20, 25 minutes ahead of me, and you pretty much stayed there.
Which was crazy because you were
miles ahead of me the whole time.
Yes. But you're a lot faster than me, so I couldn't believe you. When you text me, because we were texting each other the whole time, it was like, hey, you're at mile this and that. And I was like, well, that's wow, because Sarah's a lot faster than I am. But I guess you had people in front of you and all that kind of stuff too.
So yeah, bathroom breaks, and then again, there was parts of the park that you couldn't run.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's kind of like between Hollywood Studios and Epcot. Sometimes some of those small areas where if you can get to the left, you can run and you run the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
If not, you're stuck in the 2 or 3 people that are walking, and so if you get stuck at the wrong part, without being rude and like pushing people out of the way, or you're kind of stuck. But the good thing about being on that side is you get to interact with those other runners, which are coming,
Yeah, and
when they're ahead of you, especially, that's kind of fun.
That is fun, and a lot of people got given high fives and stuff. But a lot of people were walking across. I think they did make They are making better changes. I know you remember last year when we did Dumbo, how it had that wild pinch point because they had a water station like right where a big turn was, and on both sides, and nobody could get through, and it was kind of backed up. They moved that. That's good. So that wasn't a problem for us this year. It's just
they have so much. Again, I do know there was so much park time. I wish I could have enjoyed it. I wish I was out of my head instead of being so much in my head, and could have enjoyed it more, because I do know there was a ton of park time. Like, and you were just like, they were finding every which way they could wind you through.
Oh yeah,
you'd almost like every place you could possibly walk, you went.
Yeah, I think I saw that council like 3 or 4 times. I'm like, I ran by, so that's it. Oh wait, we're circling around. Oh, there it is again. Oh look, I'm coming to the back of it. Oh look, I'm at the front again. I mean, they circled around. They did a really good job with this route, and I think they had to do that because, of course, you have that Anaheim piece. And once you get out there, I think at mile was it 6 or 7, you leave out and you're crossing the bridge.
I think a
I
little
shouldn't say bridge, the overpass or whatever. I mean, it's like I say, it does open up, but then and you're a city runner now at that point, right? So you're just running in the city and you're running by the Starbucks and the Dunkin' Donuts and all that kind of stuff. So you just kind of it's kind of at that point kind of like but it wasn't that bad this time. And I also wanted to get kind of earlier ahead before the sun came up, because I'm gonna tell you that sun did come up and it got hot quick, like real quick. So yeah, that was something. But they had a lot of aid stations, a lot of water stations.
Yes.
So I think they prepared a lot for this, and of course they had a lot of buses and cars in case somebody couldn't make it either.
Well, and I do think so. It opened up briefly, but again, for me, because I was several miles behind you, I think there was a lot of areas that it was still very, very crowded on the streets compared to in the past when it opened up. There was, again, you could run most of the time you could run when you wanted to run, but it was very still. Like there were periods that there were a lot of people around you, like you couldn't move very far, which I was surprised because I thought that would get better on the roads. But I guess that's the being farther back. There's more people that are back there.
I guess I think that's what it was. I think they kept sticking people. And what corral was that? You're an I?
Yeah. Which they didn't even have the eye balloon blown up. So it's like, I hope I'm going the right direction. I don't know where I'm going. All the other ones are lit up and blown up balloons, and you get to I, and it's wah wah.
I don't blow it. Just that. The thing about it was, you're right. I think they just kept sticking people in the I corral, because when it opened up, when we got out to Anaheim and started running, I was like, wow, it just really just opened up. And then the sun came up. So of course you're kind of like, you got the spacing and things of that nature, but it wasn't bad at that point. And then when I got to mile, and it plays with your head, right? Because you're at mile 8, and then you see a mile marker coming up, but it's 12 on the other side of the street. So I'm like, okay, well, I still have, 4 miles to go, to get to that one. So where's these 4 miles? And I'm circling around doing this and that. So yeah.
Yeah. So it's got good and it's bad. When we were coming back, there was nobody going the other way. So, you didn't have that. So you're like, oh, good. There's nobody going the other way. Cool.
I did see the balloon ladies. So for the first time, I think I was at mile 12 and they were maybe at 9. So I saw them coming while I was going this way. I was like, oh, there you go.
Was there a balloon guy that day too? I think there was, wasn't, or was it just the 10K?
I didn't, I only saw the 2 ladies, I think. So I don't know if they had them that time. Maybe he was taking a break. Maybe he went to the restroom or something.
Yeah, I know for sure.
Person has to go to the restroom. I mean,
I don't know how they
did balloon. I don't know.
Also, okay, that made me think. I don't know why this made me think. So I thought that Run Disney had where you couldn't have costumes that are attached to each other. I saw 2 different Slinky Dog costumes.
Yes.
Where like the runners were connected. I'm like, I didn't think you could do that. I mean, they're awesome. Kudos to you for running a half marathon in that. But I didn't think you could do that. Apparently you can.
I saw those people and they were literally like 25 yards in front of the balloon ladies. That costume was not a good choice. They probably was thinking about their life choices, because that thing was hot and it was hot and they were like right. And the balloon ladies were like gaining on them, because I stopped because they were waving at people and going all slow. And I'm like, you see them right behind you, right? I mean, like literally right there. But they were like, look, we just doing it. You're slinky. So yeah.
And I enjoyed these, even though it was in the streets. I enjoyed the second half better, I think, because I caught up to some friends, and so I ran with them the rest of the time, which is also why I don't think I gained any on you, because I do know I just was like, I'm gonna hang out with them, whatever pace they're going. I'm gonna hang out with them because I'm not gonna catch you anytime soon. So
I remember saying, you texted me where you were, and I was like, that's impossible. I've been walking the whole time, and you're like, yeah, I'm with some people, and I'm like, oh, okay, well. As long as you're not by yourself.
One of them had sent me their location, and I will say that was like my motivation through the park. I literally kept pulling up my phone like, okay, I'm gaining on them. Okay, I'm gaining on them. I'm going to catch them. I'm going to catch them. I'm going to catch them. And I did, like right outside the parks, probably right before mile 7. I caught up to them.
So for marathon weekend, we can't be doing that. It'll just be me, you, Jodie is out. I'm sorry. So and Tim runs in the earlier corral usually, so he'll probably be with Caleb. So duck wise,
not that we would see Jodie, even if she was running, we also still would not see Jodie.
We wouldn't, but usually she would give us she'd give us the character updates as she's running. But
True.
I'm sure she'll be doing something on the side. So finish the race. You did it. You did the challenge. You got the challenge medal. You got your coast to coast, second coast to coast.
Correct. Yep.
Outstanding. Congratulations. But you still have a third one coming up. So overall, what would you give this race weekend?
So overall, like again,
on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the greatest, what would you give the race weekend overall?
I mean, it was probably pretty close to 10 just because of the people I met, the friends I got to hang out with, those experiences. And I think it helps. Like, I didn't do a ton of park time. I did do park time, but I had been, so I did Dopey, I did Dumbo in 24 with you guys.
Yeah, was that,
Is that right?
Yeah, that was 24. Was it? Yes, 24.
And then I did the Halloween weekend last year. I did the 5K, 10K. But we went earlier and we did a ton of park time before. So I feel like I've done some of that stuff beforehand. So I didn't feel like I was as stressed to do park stuff. So I got to really enjoy just being with people.
Good deal. So one more Disneyland race coming up. But before then, you have a couple of other races coming up in regards to Run Disney. So you're doing the Wine and Dine 10K, correct?
As of now, just the 10K. We'll see if it stays that way. But yep, as of now, the 10K.
And right after that, you're doing Dopey.
Yep, Dopey, and then Dumbo plus the 5K.
So the whole complete one, which is Dopey to Dumbo.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
and
that'll
sounds
so awesome.
Race for a while. That sounds awesome. It sounds awesome. I'll be there with you for the half, but not for the Dumbo portion. I have, because when I registered, actually Jodie registered me. When Jodie registered me, I was like, yeah, just put me on for the half because I hate running, and I don't want to do a challenge coming that close from marathon weekend, running all those runs. Because 10 to 1, I'm not going to do any training runs. I'm going to go straight from, which I do not recommend. Please don't use this as official race training tips. Speak to your physician.
You can't survive.
All that.
Don't do it.
Yeah, all that stuff they usually say. I probably won't do any training runs or anything like that. I'm going to come straight from Dopey, hating running, and going to 2 weeks later or whatever, running that race. So running a half. So I told her when she registered me, just give me the half. But now I have registration envy because you're doing everything in the 5K. So I need to see how I can change that.
And hopefully I won't be in the last corral for that because I do have proof of time now. I had proof of time. It was just too late for them to be able to change my bid this time. And I signed up so late that I think
I'm pretty sure I'll be chasing you probably at that point then, because I'll be probably behind and you'll be in front.
I will fall back. I just don't want to fall back to the last corral. I fell back to hang out with Gene for the marathon as we chased you down. So just don't want to be in the last corral. I mean, hey, it was fine. And you know what? Honestly, those medals probably mean more, like maybe not more to me than my first marathon, but so those medals mean like that half marathon, that coast to coast means so much more to me now because of what I had to fight through to get there and the people that I had never met before this weekend that were encouraging me the whole time. Tell me I could do it, giving me those hugs when we finished, like means so much to me.
That's awesome. I mean, that's what the whole, running community at Run Disney is about. I mean, you have those outliers, but for the most part, everybody is just so just helpful. They cheer you on and they help you get through it. So that's always a great thing. So we're gonna see. I'm gonna see if I can get in there with you so I can do the 10K and do the whole Dumbo challenge.
And you have park time this time for the.
I will have park time this time.
Okay. Have you done in the past? Because I know you've done Disneyland before. Have you seen Paint the Night before? When it was.
I did before, but I want to see it again. So I'm gonna have to do something. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to just. I don't want to see it on that Saturday, so maybe I don't know. We're gonna have to figure out when I have to see it. Maybe that Sunday.
So this time we did So Kristen's awesome, my run coach, and she knew she's done Disneyland before. She's California, so she's like, "This is where we should sit." So there was a group of probably 20 of us that went and sat on the curb in front of City Hall. We sat there for probably 2 hours. But I mean, getting up, took turns, bathroom, go get food, hanging out, talking, because that's what we were going to do anyway. So might as well. And it was a great spot to watch it. We sat on the curb, and it's like it comes right at you, and then before it turns. It was
nice.
Awesome.
All right, so we're gonna have to do that. We got to figure out a day to do that. I need to figure out when I'm gonna go down there. I may go on Thursday and just do it on Thursday, and then don't do the 5K, and then if I can do the 10K and a half. That's gonna be the goal.
If not, I'm gonna bug you to be cheering at least one of those, sir.
Okay, I will cheer one of those. That's a guarantee.
If you're not running the 10K, you better be cheering.
I'm going to pace myself this time because last time I was just too tired. This time I will do it. So you got my promise. So
yeah, so definitely we did after the race, we did did some park time, but did all 3 shows, which is really cool. So we did the night, we tried to get on Tiana's. It was broken. So then walked back, saw the end of the fireworks, met up with some people, and then went and got a spot for the last Fantasmic. So that was a pretty cool way to end that day.
That is a very cool way to end
shows with a bunch of great people.
Yeah, that makes it fun, right? The people, and I love seeing your pictures. So Sarah, thank you so much for joining us tonight. But I'm not gonna let you off the hook because it's our favorite time that most people say is why they tune into the show, which is quacking up with the ducks. So, Sarah, I know you've done this before. Your jokes are always on par. Knock it out the park. Kick us off. Can you quack us up tonight?
Well, I mean, that's a lot of pressure.
I mean, it is. It is.
I'll do my best.
Okay.
So, kind of thinking on theme a little bit with that Halloween, you talk about how great those decorations are at Disneyland. They have all the colors, all the pumpkins, all the fall vibes, just rocking out. So what did one pumpkin say? What does one of those pumpkins say to the other pumpkin?
What did one pumpkin say to the other pumpkin? I don't know.
Let's get glowing.
Yeah, that's a good one. Let's get glowing. I like it. I like it. So in the spirit of the Halloween races, how did the zombie become great at trick-or-treating?
Zombie great at trick-or-treating. Yeah, I don't know. How?
Through dead occasion. I know it's bad.
That's what it's about, though. It's those dad jokes, right?
That's what it's about. That's why we're here. That's why our 4 listeners are here. So like I said, guys, if you enjoy what you hear tonight, and I know you did, feel free to hop on the socials, give us some 5 stars, show Sarah some love. She took time out of her busy schedule and the Chiefs game to join us tonight. So thank you so much for that. And thank you all for listening tonight. So with that, I will say Kwaharini.
Bye. My duck fell.
Stay up, duck, stay up.
Okay, now I'm ready.